My English is not very good.
It was good enough last time for
Okay.
me to understand. So I think unless you're getting
Okay.
worse,
Okay. So my first question is, what now that I know that it is a dream,
yeah.
why I'm going to keep doing the things like for example, my work, all that things that many choices were made based on fear.
Yes.
Now that I still don't know who I am, but I know who I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in my motivation was I didn't know that, but it was fear. So sometimes I don't know what to do, because I am doing things because in society you get dependent on others if you don't do it.
Yeah.
But in the same time, I don't know that the time that takes for be with me.
Okay. Also, it can be that no job is closer to the self than another one. You understand? I just want to say this. Nothing that you do is more close to the self than another thing that you do. In its pure work, in terms of action, you see. Like, God is not more in India than in Belfast or someplace. You see, it's not like I prefer India, let's hang out there more, and if I need to go down there, I go down. No, it's what we call is there. What is perceived is that energetically, where the attention is more alive, either creates a mask that hides that God energy, or somehow pull a curtains that reveal more the God energy, isn't it? And I love the way that yesterday we were speaking and Nataraj was talking, and he said somehow he was talking that in some cases it's when you are impersonal enough, then the Supreme can act through you more easily. You see, like that. That's effectively what we say. Now you say, but fear actually has been a motivation and been driving my life a lot. But actually fear is a tremendous motivator also to search for truth. It is pain also. We very rarely say thank you to pain and thank you to fear. So no, but they held you here. Now find also that which is in itself just is. It is not fear. It simply is. Although fear still arises sometime in the mechanism of the kind of the person idea, still some fear still comes up in that. But that now you still kind of have discovered the place where you can observe that. But then there's something that says, yes, I don't want to just observe, I want it to go now. Because it seems to, fear manifests in my life by making me feel shy or sort of like, kind of that. But then you can look, even at that, you can say, but it doesn't really matter in a way from this, for now. Use it while it's there to clear up misunderstandings, to see where your pure space is. And then when you've used it up, it will go. It is also, I rather just to show that there's value in these. A part of ourself doesn't want to have any discomfort. One man in India, he said also to me, and I shared it before, he said, I have this shyness, this very strong shyness, and it stops me from, being with friends and just having a good time. And, I'd like you to help me to get rid of this shyness. I said, I don't want to help you to get rid of shyness. Because maybe if you were not shy, you'd be very arrogant and look at me. I'm not here to do this. I'm here to show you who you are. And when you know who you are, you probably begin to see, as you're finding out, that this shyness has protected you from getting into a lot of trouble, maybe. It has helped in some way. So many people I've spoken with whose troublesome life has helped them to find the truth. Because they have so much difficulty. See?
I'm the case that in the moments of pain, I want I want this more than in the moments that I am okay.
Yes. But then you find it. Not just want also.
Yes,
you're finding it.
Of course. Yeah.
And then after finding, you find that you are it. Not that I found it, but after you start to find, the greatest find is I am that itself also.
Yeah.
Not the belief. Something is slowly reacclimatizing to just being you. It's almost like we're so used to not being yourself.
Yeah.
You see? Of being just sort of like a version of yourself, an idea, a kind of portrait of ourselves. But as we come to look in an honest way, some things begin to fall away, you see? And then you're coming back to a naked honesty and truth that doesn't need any camouflage, you see? And sometimes fear comes because you say, I've never been so naked before. I feel very vulnerable. Say, okay, let's look at what is vulnerable. Look at what is vulnerable. And you stop and call up vulnerability and say, let's have a look at vulnerability. What is the message in vulnerability? Vulnerability is I won't be able to survive. I don't have any defenses. And do you need it? And yes, because the world is very, very aggressive place. I say, is this true or is it not just your thought?
Yeah.
You see, and you use these things. And what depth you produce out of yourself, isn't it? What depth you produce when you begin to look and joy also, because there's a joy in uncovering the mystery of finding greater space, but it's greater space. And sometimes when I'm weakest, I'm strongest. Yeah. You see, like this. Yeah, something is happening like that.
It's happening in my life.
Yes.
What happened to me was there was some moments that I could I don't know if this is a good expression, but feel myself.
Yes.
Is like I can, whatever it takes, pain, it's okay, everything. But I never can bring that for be with other people. I'm too afraid from their judgment.
Yes.
Of their punishment.
Yes. But it could just be that it is not yet appropriate to share with them. That is also a kind of maturing also. That sometimes in our enthusiasm for what you discovered, you want to share with those you love, or those you see, or to bring it more into your life. But maybe also you have to learn that they are not yet at a stage of maturity to be comfortable with what you have discovered. So there is still that, and then a part of the mind is saying, but why should I have to now, kind of hold back? I'm not free to express myself. I said, but don't be selfish. The part of all of this is not just to speak the truth, but that it is communicated in a way that it can be received also.
Yeah.
So you have to pay more attention to them, and to pay more attention, you have to love them more, and that love inside you encompasses that. Because when you love, you take time, and you have a sensitivity to how you share things. You see, so all of this is growing together. It is maturing together, thickening together somehow. Because you'll find that when you're in the right company, then it flows from you like water. And there is no jarring, there's no trying to convince anybody. There's just the joy of sharing. And energy comes into your being also, because, you're not defending.
Yeah.
You're simply sharing. And you may find that even you don't need to speak even. Yeah. If the beingness doesn't dictate speech, it can sometimes just, you intend to, but when you're there, nothing will come. And you have to educate. Many years ago, if I can just tell you this short account, what happened, I had a friend I had not seen her for many, many years. And we used to train together and all of this. And over these years, my life changed. I hadn't seen her we were together doing some martial arts and these things together. We were very good friends. She's a journalist, but then she went away to the United States, and then over this time, my life changed. What I've just told you at the beginning of our talk today, that took place, and everything is moving, because another thing in your own spiritual unfolding is that things begin to happen very fast. That the time it would have taken you, it may have taken you 10 years to mature to a certain level. But here you will reach that level in 2 months. Because the spirit moves and it burns things. Where you're trying to rub them down, it burns the whole house. And you have to be somehow rich in your heart enough to say, yeah, I'm up for that. But this thing happened, and my life changed so much that many years later, this was the time when Lady Diana, you remember her? She was getting married to Prince Charles. This is how far ago now I'm talking. And then she came from the United States as a journalist to cover the story for their local, station or whatever. And she called up and she says, "Can we meet? Because it's so many years. I'm dying to meet you after all these years." I said, "But yes," but I was a little bit reluctant because I know that you're a journalist, Mm-hmm. So we arranged to meet in the center of London, in Covent Gardens. And my life is totally unpredictable from those days. I don't know what is going to happen. I'm just there is just the beingness. And then I'm walking down this road, and I'm just walking, and I feel nothing at all, no excitement, nothing. It's like a solid emptiness is inside me. Like a solid emptiness. I cannot fake anything, nothing. I felt nothing about anything. But it's a great beauty. And I'm walking towards the appointment, and I saw her coming like this. Like slow motion. And still I'm going, come on, meet her with at least some enthusiasm, at least fake it. To say, wow, but it wasn't coming. It was just this vroom. And I can see her Are you ready for that? She came and she kind of hugged and, "Are you okay?" I said, "I am." "But are you really okay?" "I am." "It's been so many years, look at you." And I said, yes. "You sure you're okay?" Because I wasn't kind of, whoa, popcorns and fireworks. It wasn't there, not what you expect. And I could not fake it. We had a most profound meeting like that. But somehow, I don't know what happened after this. Because after this one meeting, she may have been in London for maybe 1 week or something. I didn't see again. Only just this meeting. Maybe too much. But who is to say too much? Maybe there's something you cannot explain how it should go, how far your own life or someone's life should influence another, or what way it should do it. Your mind has its own versions. Sometimes you cannot help but to be true. Even though your condition is said, but at least give them something, give them something. Fake something, because you know how to fake. Are you open to be so deeply transformed back into yourself, not into something other than yourself, you see? And not to decide to be something, or not decide to demonstrate your spirituality. Not that. Don't do that either, please. Just be nothing, if that's what you are. Don't say, "Look, I am nothing." But just be nothing. And you meet like this, and somehow, in most times, something, that beingness, that beingness, it knows how to serve itself. You who are who, the beingness plus still the remnants of conditioning, still has our little struggle in merging fully into that. So something meets and merges into the truth. But there are some aspects that still takes time to stabilize gradually. You see? And you may always find that as long as you have the body, the vital breath is there, the consciousness is there, there is a little tension that will come. Don't be afraid of this tension. This tension is life also. But you will not be overwhelmed by it. It keeps maybe a kind of vigilance, a soft vigilance within you, so that you don't kind of, I don't know, I don't want to talk about that, but it's there. Don't fight it. Like this. You see?
What happened to me is see the society in general, and in a few days I get like in this world to survive here is not possible.
Let me tell you, you're talking to the right person right now. Because I was in London when all of this happened to me. I'm in London, and I've been in London with no money also, and with your relationships change also, because some people, they just fall away. Some relationships just fall away. Some you love the people, but you can't cope with their company because they just talk nonsense things, fish and chips. And you cannot just sort of like put it on top of them, anything like this. And you are learning also to be in that. But I will tell you, don't hold this idea that is a place you cannot be. Okay? Because that is only according to your mind. And we must defeat that. Because when these changes took place for me, and there were tremendous change. Tremendous. My daughter is here. She can vouch for that. Tremendous changes took place in my life. And, I didn't run off to India, live in the Himalayas and stuff like that, and I can live out my trip. It was right in the place where I was a teacher in my town. And students, I was thinking, oh my God, my students are going to come and ask me, what are you doing sitting on the street and stuff like this? And your mind goes through some few things like that, you see. But something carries you through everything, mysteriously. And that's a beautiful thing to discover. Don't run away, don't apologize about it. You see? Because many times people come and they have a lot of projections about you. You start to realize how much projections people have, and you realize that nobody can know you. Yeah. As you begin to know yourself. When you don't know yourself, you think people can know you. Yeah. Some people. But when you know yourself, you know no one can know you. You cannot come to the end of what you are.
But for example, what I feel sometimes is like I don't have an opinion. Or I don't have. It's okay, When I feel from my point of view that they in general, the enemies in general, they want an opinion from me. I don't know.
Yes.
Like
we can feel like that. The Philistines are upon you, okay? But somehow it is also in your mind. Also, you must be comfortable with yourself. Because you can also, I'm now very comfortable to say, I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, for example.
Because the fact is that they don't know also anything about it. And then when you say you don't know, oh my God, actually that made me feel free, because actually I don't know also, You see, but if you jump back and you think, oh no, I don't have any opinion, which is true, that somehow I'm going to look stupid in front of them, or they're going to think I'm stupid. In a way, you are creating a bit of the environment to attract this type of notion from people. Don't apologize for what you have discovered. Don't live in any apology for what you're discovering. but rather trust in the light of that. This is where those who trust and have a feeling for God, the God self inside, feel that they are guided from that deeper source and is protected by that source. And the others say, but that's a duality. I said, actually it is not, in fact. And there is harmful duality and positive duality. Harmful duality is to think that I am this body and everything else is other. But to say that there is duality is wrong or something is to deny experience. How can it be experience without duality, you see? So a lot of people have these kind of purist concepts, and they say, oh, these people are attached to duality. I said, but you're attached to non-duality, which is also a kind of concept as well too. So just forget about that. But you have somehow a sense that you trust, and there's a place for this trust because it bears fruit, in the sense that you don't give in to these thoughts like, the enemy. You have no enemy. Let enemies have you, but you don't have no enemy. And you move about like that. And don't think people are... Because they need you, actually, in some way. They need your honesty. They need your light. Don't hide your light. Don't try and show it, but don't hide it in the sense that, if you don't have an opinion about something. And you can also find it in life as you mature more. You can ask... you may ask somebody, how did you come by that conviction? And they're not used to being asked questions like that. And see if they can... That's a truth. That's a truthful encounter. Rather than just agreeing or seem to agree with a consensus of opinions, you can sometimes present things, how can you be sure about this thing? And you find that they don't know. Mostly we are speaking about things we don't know at all. Just second-hand concepts. And just the one who can act it out more gets the highest vote or something. That is it. So don't feel badly that you don't. In fact, there are people who don't speak at all. But don't be one of them. Meaning, in fact, not that there are people who make a vow not to speak. I would not encourage this. Because I see some of these people, they make a vow not to speak, but they're writing messages on paper. I think they're still speaking, actually. That's cheating. Mm-hmm. Okay? But I'm talking about the one who speaks words, but is not the speaker of them at the same time. This is different.
Yeah.
Speaking, but not speaking. Laughing, but not laughing. Crying, but not crying. Something knows both this. It knows these words inside. Because you are not caught in the bubble of any concept. Something is beyond that. And yet at the same time, you are comfortable in the realm of duality and expression.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very good.